This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi and with me is Subha Kaul with the Midday News. The headlines. India achieves over 55 lakh recoveries of COVID-19, continues to occupy top global position with the maximum number of recoveries. UPSC conducts civil services examination at 2,569 centers across 72 cities in the country today. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar asserts the country is moving towards one nation, one market, says farmers now have freedom to sell at highest price available. In Bihar, seat-sharing talks between ruling NDA partners reach final stage as the BJP and the JDU identify seats they wish to contest. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians to take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Sharjah and Kings 11 Punjab to meet Chennai Super Kings in Dubai. In our special series on the occasion of 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a post-prayer speech on the 12th of November 1947, Mahatma Gandhi had said that the celebration of Deepavali symbolizes the good work that has been done by us.
हम दिवाली का उत्सव मनाते हैं, उसका मतलब तो ये है ना कि हमने कुछ भी अच्छा काम कर लिया है। हमारे जो राम और रावण का युद्ध है, हमारे भीतर में दैवी संपत है, उसका अधिष्ठाता राम है और आसुरी संपत है, उसका अधिष्ठाता रावण है। तो हमारे भीतर में वो दोनों अच्छा और बुरा पड़ा है, तो वो युद्ध में राम जीत जाता है तो ईश्वर का जय होता है। उसी आदमी को वो जय मनाने का अधिकार है कि जिसने अपने हृदय में राम को जीत मिल सके, ऐसा ही उसने प्रयत्न किया।
The country has achieved a new landmark in terms of total COVID-19 recoveries. With over 55 lakh recoveries so far, India continues to occupy top global position as the country with the maximum number of recoveries. Registering recovery of over 82,000 patients in the last 24 hours, the national cumulative recovery rate has further improved to 84.1%. The Health Ministry has said that the gap between recovered cases and active cases is progressively growing wide. The constant increase in recoveries has ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 14.3% of the total positive cases. India achieved a milestone by keeping the active cases below the 10 lakh mark in a sustained manner for over 10 days in a row. The number of recovered patients has also overtaken the active cases by nearly 6 times. An unprecedented surge in COVID recoveries with more than 100% increase in patients recovered and discharged in the last 1 month has also been reported. Early identification through aggressive and wide-scale testing, prompt and effective treatment in hospitals and supervised home as well as facility isolations have actively led to a high recovery rate in the country. Currently, India's case fatality rate has remarkably reduced and stands at 1.5%. The country has progressively maintained a low case fatality rate and stands at almost half of the current global average. In the last 24 hours, 75,829 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases reported in the country so far to 65,49,374.
All schools in Delhi will remain closed till 31st October due to the coronavirus pandemic. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia informed media about the decision this afternoon. The Delhi government had earlier ordered schools in the national capital to remain closed till 5th October. Online classes, which have become the norm in recent weeks and months with the need for social distancing, have been allowed to continue. The centre had, in its announcement of the 5th phase of easing of COVID restrictions, allowed state and union territories to decide on reopening of schools, colleges and other educational institutions in a graded manner after 15th of this month. In Maharashtra, after days of consistent rise in number of cases of COVID-19, the state recorded a marginal drop for the first time yesterday. According to the data released by the State Health Department, Maharashtra registered 14,348 cases, which earlier hovered between 20 to 25,000 mark. Also, the number of active cases in the state has now declined, along with an improved recovery rate. Our correspondent has more details.
Timely treatment and a robust medical system in the state has helped in saving lives of people infected with COVID-19, eventually resulting into bettering the recovery rate, which has now gone close to the 80% mark. Yesterday, 16,835 recovered patients were discharged from various hospitals in the state. So far, 70,35,000 samples have been sent for testing, out of which 20% tested positive. Meanwhile, in the first phase of My Family, My Responsibility campaign, a survey of 24 lakh citizens in about 7 lakh households in the Mumbai municipal area has been completed. This campaign will help collect detailed health data from every citizen. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Puducherry, the COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 81.69% and the fatality rate is 1.85% as of today. The number of new cases has shown a declining trend for the last few days.
The civil service examinations are held in 8 centers in Puducherry Union Territory. 2,913 candidates appeared for the exam. The Transport Corporation has made elaborate bus facilities for the candidates from Viluppuram, Kadalur and Karaikal to Puducherry centers. As far as other relaxations are concerned, the Director of School Education said that the schools opening on 5th October, but the classes will be from October 8th only. Classes will be for 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th standards. He further said that attendance will not be taken and the students have to attend with the consent of their parents. Moreover, bars are already opened here and cinema houses could start functioning from October 18th with the 50% seat capacity. Chandramohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
Telangana has reported 1,949 fresh COVID-19 cases during the past 24 hours, taking the total number of cases reported so far in the state to 1,99,276. The state conducted over 51,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate also improved to 85.41%, with 2,366 people recovering yesterday. This took the total number of recovered people in the state so far to 1,70,212. Meanwhile, the daily bulletin issued by the State Medical and Health Department stated that the total deaths rose to 1,163, following 10 more deaths reported during the past 24 hours.
Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that COVID-19 is a global challenge which requires global solutions. He urged everyone to strictly adhere to the precautions and guidelines as advised by the Health Ministry from time to time. In his weekly address, Sunday Samvad, Dr. Harshvardhan shared the country's way forward in tackling the coronavirus pandemic. Informing about availability of COVID vaccines in the country and the people who would be getting its initial shots, he said the government has formed high-level committees under Health Ministry to understand the timeline of availability of the vaccines currently in Phase 3 trials in the country. The Civil Services exam for selection to Indian Administrative Service, Indian Foreign Service and Indian Police Service and other civil services has begun today. Selection to the civil services is done through a preliminary exam, a main exam and an interview, which are conducted by the Union Public Service Commission UPSC. Candidates who clear the UPSC Civil Services prelims will be shortlisted for the main exam, which is scheduled to be held in January 2021. Our correspondent reports UPSC had earlier scheduled the exam on May 31st. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the exam was postponed. More details from our correspondent.
The first session, which began at 9:30 today at 2,569 centers across 72 cities, is over. The next session will begin at 2:30 p.m. This year, a total over 10,58,000 candidates have applied for the examination. In view of the coronavirus pandemic, the Commission had released guidelines for candidates. This correspondent who was at an examination center in Delhi saw all those who were appearing wore masks. All candidates also were seen using own hand sanitizer in transparent bottles while entering to the center. In Delhi Metro started its services little early today at 6 in the morning to facilitate the movement of candidates. Subhagyakar, AIR News, Delhi.
Aspirants along with accompanying parents or guardians appearing for today's prelim exams of the Union Public Service Commission UPSC in Mumbai were allowed to travel by the special local suburban trains. Upon the request of the UPSC, the Ministry of Railways decided to run special local trains for Central and Western Railways for the UPSC candidates. Those appearing for the UPSC prelims were allowed to enter the suburban railway station on the basis of their identity card and exam call letter.
Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar has said that all 3 agricultural reform bills passed by the central government will benefit the farmers. He added that the country is moving towards one nation, one market. This is a visionary step towards transformation of agriculture and raising farmers' income, he said. The minister was talking to the media at Goa Secretariat in Panaji today. He said for all the industrial produce, the selling price is fixed by the producer, but only in the case of agricultural produce, the selling price is fixed by the agents. However, now after the passage of this act, the producer, that is the farmer, will have the priority to decide the selling price. This move of the government will have a great impact in fetching the best price for the produce, which will directly go into the hands of the farmers, he said.
ये पहली दफा इन बिलों से अधिकार मिलता है कि आप एपीएमसी में बेचे या बाहर बेचे। ये किसान का चॉइस होगा या अनुबंध करें, जिससे भी आपको अधिक पैसा मिलेगा वो कीमत तय करने का अधिकार अब किसान का मिला है। ये सबसे बड़ा फायदा इन कानूनों का है। ये एक देश एक बाजार तैयार करने की ये रणनीति है।
Mr. Javadekar added that the farmers now have the freedom to sell at the highest price available or offered. The minimum support price will not go. On the contrary, the government has paid much higher MSP to farmers, he said. Onion, potato and oil have been removed from the Essential Commodities Act. Now, farmers can store their produce, sell to whoever they wish, Mr. Javadekar said. He urged Goan farmers not to fall prey to the politics over the newly enacted agricultural laws, saying that the Congress party has always deprived farmers of their rights. The same reforms were proposed by the Congress party in their manifesto, he added. 2 naval personnel were killed in a glider crash at Kochi this morning. The naval power glider on a routine training sortie took off from INS Garud and crashed near naval base around 7 a.m. The 2 personnel, Lieutenant Rajiv Jha and Petty Officer Sunil Kumar, were shifted to INHS Sanjeevani but were declared brought dead. An inquiry has been ordered by the Southern Naval Command into the incident.
In yet another ceasefire violation, Pakistani troops resorted to unprovoked and indiscriminate firing with small arms and heavy mortar shelling along the LOC in Mankot sector of Poonch district during wee hours today. Defence PRO Colonel Davinder Anand said vigilant Indian troops guarding the fence are retaliating befittingly with equal caliber to silence the Pakistani army guns. There are no reports of damage to any property and loss of life to the Indian side. In Ladakh, the nomination process for Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council Leh General Council election was completed yesterday. After withdrawal of the election boycott call by the apex body for People's Movement for 6th Schedule safeguards for Ladakh, there was unprecedented response from the contestants in Leh. For 26 constituencies of Leh Hill Council, 164 candidates have filed their nominations. Along with major political parties like BJP, Congress and new entrant Aam Aadmi Party, a good number of independents also filed nominations for the 6th General Council elections of Leh. Out of 164 nominations, 103 nominations were filed on the last day yesterday. 27 candidates from Aam Aadmi Party, 43 from BJP and 43 from Congress have filed nominations. 44 independents also have filed their papers. Scrutiny of nominations will be held on 6th of October.
Union Minister and Lok Janshakti Party LJP patron Ramvilas Paswan underwent a heart surgery yesterday. Mr. Paswan, who is 74 years old and has been in active politics for more than 5 decades, was hospitalized a few weeks ago. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and other senior leaders spoke to Ramvilas Paswan's son and LJP leader Chirag Paswan to inquire about the health of the veteran leader. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid rich tributes to revolutionary freedom fighter Shyamji Krishna Varma on his birth anniversary today and said that the freedom fighter devoted his life to India's freedom and inspired many nationalists. Mr. Modi said that the nation bows to the legendary nationalist on his Jayanti. He said the country will always work hard to realize his vision for the nation. Shyamji Krishna Varma was born in 1857 and had set up a revolutionary centre in India House at London. He propagated the cause of India's independence through his writings in a publication called The Indian Sociologist.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India achieves over 55 lakh recoveries of COVID-19, continues to occupy top global position with the maximum number of recoveries. UPSC conducts civil services examinations at 2,569 centres across 72 cities in the country today. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar asserts the country is moving towards one nation, one market, says farmers now have freedom to sell at highest price available. In Bihar, seat-sharing talks between ruling NDA partners reach final stage as the BJP and the JDU identify seats they wish to contest. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians to take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Sharjah and Kings 11 Punjab to meet Chennai Super Kings in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Responsible AI for Social Empowerment RAISE 2020 Summit on Monday. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Niti Aayog are organizing the mega virtual summit on artificial intelligence, AI, from 5th to the 9th of October. RAISE 2020 will be a global meeting of minds to exchange ideas and chart a course for using AI for social transformation, inclusion and empowerment in areas like healthcare, agriculture, education and smart mobility, among other sectors. At the RAISE 2020, delegates and experts in research, policy and innovation on artificial intelligence will join from across the globe. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the textile sector is a key sector that will help build an Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India. Addressing an international webinar on textile traditions organized by the Indian Council for Cultural Relations yesterday, Mr. Modi said, to assist our weavers in continuing to make world-class products, we want to learn global best practices and also our best practices.
Today, we look at textile as a key sector that will help us build an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Our self-reliant India. Our government is particularly focusing on skills upgradation, financial assistance, integration the sector with latest technology. We are assisting our weavers to help them continue to make world-class products.
The Prime Minister said the exchange of ideas and sharing of best practices in this webinar will create new avenues for collaboration. Mr. Modi said the textile sector has always brought opportunities and domestically the sector is among the biggest job providers in India.
Our link with the textile sector goes back centuries. In the textile sector, you can see our history, our diversity and immense opportunity. India has textile traditions that are very old. We were one of the earliest to spin, weave and dye cotton. Naturally, colored cotton has a long and glorious history in India.
Mr. Modi said we need to prepare for our future in challenging times. He also added that the textile traditions of the country have showcased powerful ideas and principles like diversity and adaptability, self-reliance, skill and innovation, and these principles have become even more relevant today.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the government has put in its full strength for the development of border infrastructure. The Prime Minister was speaking after inaugurating the strategically important all-weather Atal Tunnel at Rohtang in Himachal Pradesh. The Prime Minister said it is a historic day as not only Atalji's dream but also that of the people of Himachal Pradesh has been fulfilled. The Prime Minister said construction of roads, bridges and tunnels is being carried out on a large scale with special emphasis on the development of border infrastructure. He said its benefits are being extended to the common people as well as the armed forces personnel.
इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ सामान्य जनों के साथ ही हमारे फौजी भाई बहनों को भी हो रहा है। सर्दी के मौसम में उन तक रसद पहुंचाना हो, उनकी रक्षा से जुड़े साजो सामान हो, वो आसानी से पेट्रोलिंग कर सके, इसके लिए सड़कों का जाल बिछाया जा रहा है। देश की रक्षा करने वालों की जरूरतों का ध्यान रखना हमारी सरकार की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता में से एक है।
The Prime Minister said Atal Tunnel will not only benefit the people of Himachal Pradesh but will also be a lifeline for Leh Ladakh. He said for the government there is nothing bigger than the safety and security of the people. The Prime Minister drove through the Atal Tunnel from south portal of the tunnel at Manali to the north portal at Sisu in Lahaul Spiti. He flagged off the HRTC bus service from the north to south portal through the tunnel towards Manali. In Bihar, seat-sharing talks between ruling NDA partners reached final stage as two main allies, BJP and Janata Dal United, have almost identified the assembly seats they wish to contest. Sources said the deal has been finalized on a 50-50 basis for the 243-member state legislative assembly. According to the formula, BJP will accommodate Lok Jan Shakti Party LJP from its quota of seats and JDU will accommodate former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi led Hindustani Avam Morcha HAM from its own kitty. HAM has recently joined hands with JDU, quitting RJD Congress-led Grand Alliance. More from our correspondent.
In Patna, a crucial meeting was held between senior BJP and JDU leaders, where the two parties agreed to resolve the issue of contentious seats. After the meeting, Bihar election in charge Devendra Fadnavis and BJP state in charge Bhupendra Yadav left for Delhi to inform the party's national president JP Nadda about the agreement. The party's central leadership will finally approve the formula after taking LJP into the confidence. The LJP has so far maintained a tough stand in support of their demand for a respectable number of seats in NDA. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
Meanwhile, a significant meeting of BJP central leadership presided over by JP Nadda is underway in Delhi to give final shape to the BJP-JDU agreement. In a related development, LJP has convened a meeting of its parliamentary board at 3 p.m. today, where it is expected to announce its stand.
Karnataka Minister for Kannada Culture and Tourism C.T. Ravi has tendered his resignation days after being appointed BJP National General Secretary. He submitted his resignation letter to the Chief Minister yesterday and his resignation is yet to be accepted. Sources say that C.T. Ravi is slated to visit New Delhi tomorrow and meet the national leaders. He is also likely to participate in the party meeting scheduled on Monday and Tuesday in New Delhi. He is a four-time MLA from Chikmagalur Assembly constituency in the state. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has recommended a CBI probe into the Hathras incident. In a tweet, the Chief Minister said he has recommended a CBI probe in all aspects linked to the Hathras episode. He said the state government is determined to ensure the harshest punishment for all those responsible for this incident. The state government had earlier ordered an SIT inquiry into the incident. Yesterday, UP Additional Chief Secretary Home Avanish Avasthi and Director General of Police H.C. Avasthi travelled from Lucknow to meet the victim's family. Talking to media persons in Hathras, Avanish Avasthi said orders for the suspension of police personnel, including the Superintendent of Police, were issued within 2 hours of receiving the first report of the SIT team sent to the village. The woman died of grievous injuries in the early hours of Tuesday at a Delhi hospital, a fortnight after she was attacked by a group of men. Gujarat High Court has decided to upload one important judgment in Gujarati language daily on its website. This unique initiative has been launched from 2nd October, the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Justice Vikram Nath, had expressed his desire to upload one judgment daily on its website in Gujarati language. The judges of the Artificial Intelligence Committee of the Gujarat High Court also recommended the same. Now the High Court has started uploading the one order or judgment per working day in Gujarati language on its website for the benefit of litigants and general public. The orders, judgments passed by the Gujarat High Court on socially relevant issues would be selected for this purpose. According to sources, the vernacular translation of such orders or judgments would be for general information only. The original English version of the order judgment as passed by the court will be continued to be treated as authentic for official purposes. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Assam, the Transport Department has asked the All Assam Motor Transport Association to call off their indefinite strike, which is slated to begin tomorrow. The association has called for an indefinite strike demanding a fair hike. The Secretary of the Transport Department in a letter informed the association that Transport Minister Chandramohan Patovari will hold a meeting with them on Tuesday to discuss their demands.
In Odisha, senior leader and former minister of the state government Pradeep Kumar Maharathi passed away in the early hours today. He was 65. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, Union Minister of State Pratap Chandra Sarangi and Odisha's Assembly Speaker Surya Narayan Patra, along with many other leaders, have expressed deep grief over the passing away of the veteran BJD leader. A 7-time MLA, Mr. Maharathi represented the Pipli Assembly constituency of the state. His mortal remains will be cremated with full state honours in Puri this afternoon. The Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Naravane, and Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla will be on a 2-day visit to Myanmar beginning today. During the visit, the delegation will call on the State Councillor of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, and Commander-in-Chief of the Myanmar Armed Forces, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. The visit will provide an opportunity to take stock of the existing bilateral ties and strengthen cooperation in areas of mutual interest. India-Myanmar relations are historic, multifaceted, and marked by mutual trust and respect. India attaches high priority to its relationship with Myanmar in accordance with its Neighbourhood First and Act East policies.
In the IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at 3:30 p.m. in Sharjah, and Kings 11 Punjab will meet Chennai Super Kings at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai. Delhi Capitals beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 18 runs in Sharjah last night. Chasing a victory target of 229 runs, Kolkata made 210. Put into bat, Delhi made 228. Earlier, in another match at Abu Dhabi, Royal Challengers Bangalore defeated Rajasthan Royals by 8 wickets. Chasing 155 runs, Bangalore achieved the target in 19.1 overs and made 158. Skipper Virat Kohli remained unbeaten on 72. Devdutt Padikkal made 63 runs.
In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic beat Daniel Elahi Galan and reached the French Open 4th round. The Serb, bidding for his 18th Grand Slam title, beat the Colombian qualifier 6-0, 6-3, 6-2. Djokovic will face 15th seed Karen Khachanov of Russia for a place in the quarterfinals. It is the 11th consecutive year that Djokovic has reached the last 16. Aiming for a second French Open title, Djokovic barely looked trouble against the world number 153. Meanwhile, Czech 7th seed Petra Kvitova overcame a slow start to beat Canadian teenager Leila Fernandez and reached the 4th round in the women's singles. Two-time Wimbledon champion Kvitova trailed 5-1 in the opening set, but stomped back to win 7-5, 6-3 against the impressive 18-year-old. She will face China's Zhang Shuai for a place in the quarterfinals. Australian Open champion Sofia Kenin also advanced to the next round with a 6-2, 6-0 win over Romanian qualifier Irina Bara. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program this afternoon will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. Anupam Prakash, Professor of Medicine, Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. The program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can follow us on the News on AIR app for updates.
U.S. President Donald Trump, who was admitted to a military hospital for treatment of COVID-19, is in exceptionally good spirits and has been fever-free for the past 24 hours, his doctors have said. Speaking outside the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, where 74-year-old Trump was admitted yesterday, Dr. Sean Conley said that President had a mild cough, some nasal congestion and fatigue on Thursday, all of which are resolving and improving. Now let's take a look at today's weather. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature in Jammu was 18 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees. The city is likely to have mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, minimum temperature was recorded at 6 degrees Celsius while maximum could go up to 22 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. Leh in Ladakh will also have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 0 while the maximum temperature could be 23 degrees. In Gilgit, the temperature is likely to hover between 8 and 30 degrees Celsius. It will have mainly clear sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 11 likely and maximum is expected to be 13 degrees Celsius. National capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was recorded at 18 degrees Celsius and maximum could go up to 35 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with light rains. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 33 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or drizzle. The temperature in the city is likely to hover between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius. Forecast for Kolkata says partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was recorded at 27 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 20 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city will see mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was registered at 19 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 35 degrees.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India achieves over 55 lakh recoveries of COVID-19, continues to occupy top global position with the maximum number of recoveries. UPSC conducts civil services examination at 2,569 centers across 72 cities in the country today. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar asserts the country is moving towards one nation, one market, says farmers are now have freedom to sell at highest price available. In Bihar, seat-sharing talks between ruling NDA partners reach final stage as the BJP and the JDU identify seats they wish to contest. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians to take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Sharjah and Kings 11 Punjab to meet Chennai Super Kings in Dubai. And with that, we end the Midday News.